So this is sort of the continuation of the 3-note per string system, but it's also something you can practice with the other stuff. Maybe change it up if the other stuff gets boring. It can get boring, I will admit. But basically what you want to do here, as the title suggests, it's scale fragments. And the fragment we're going to do today is a 3-note fragment. And 3 notes are great because they're uneven. So especially when using alternate picking, means that every other time it will start with a downstroke and every other time with an upstroke. And that's really good to develop the evenness that you need for alternate picking. And I'm just going to show this in the basic C major position here. 3-note per string that you worked on already, so you can look at the PDF file if you need to, but you probably won't need to because you've worked on this already. But just in case, the fingerings are 8, 10, 12 on the E and A string, and 9, 10, 12 on the D and G string, and finally 10, 12, 13 on the B and E string. And like I said, the fragment will be a 3-note fragment, and you're going to play this in 16th notes. So like this. It's very similar to the rhythmic, the accents, or rather the accents video in the Guitar Technique toolbox. So it's sort of built into this exercise. So you start with the first fragment, which is the first 3 notes of the scale, and you play it to a metronome. It will be my foot here, so 16th notes will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you'll accent the note that falls on the beat. So in this case it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So that's a complete cycle. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So we will complete 4 repetitions of this pattern. So and then we hold that note. So rhythmically it will be like this. Then we'll start on the next note of the scale. So and do the same thing. So okay, and then we'll start on the next note of the scale and do the same thing. Okay, and then we're basically done with that string group, and we'll restart on the A string here. So and when we come up here, it's really up to you what fingering you want to use. So it's not really about speed here, even though I wouldn't practice as fast as I do it now. I'd rather put the metronome down like 50 or 60, so just so you want to build real accuracy here. And it's harder to be accurate rhythmically when you're playing slower as well, so that's an added benefit. And like I said here, we're done with the string group after just 3 patterns. So 1, 2, 3, now we're here again. And the way I think about this is 3, 2 plus 1, and 1 plus 2. Okay? So that gives us 3 variations. We got 3 notes on a string, which is 3. We got 2 notes plus 1, which is second one, and then we got 1 note and 2 notes, and then we're done. Then we just restart on the next string, the A string in this case. We've got 3 notes, 2 plus 1, 1 plus 2, the D string, 3 notes, 2 plus 1, 1 plus 2, G string, 3 notes, 2 plus 1, 1 plus 2, 3 notes, 2 plus 1, 1 plus 2, and then finally 3 notes. Okay, and then you just do exactly the same thing but backwards. You start on the top here and you do and so on. And like I said here, between the G and B strings, depending on what pattern you're in, the fingerings will be really up to you, what you find the most comfortable. Because whatever you do, you're going to work on changing between the strings, and so something that will come up in your playing. So you can vary it, but try to find the most comfortable way. And I would just go through this for really any scale that you're trying to learn. It's a great way to do it because you really you get to see the scale from each note and build it up 3 notes at a time. So it really helps you to burn the scale shape into your mind. But for now, you can just do it in C major, start here and go all the way up. And if you want to go all the way back and do everything again, but starting with an upstroke, so we'll accent. But you can also do this, I mean, if you think that it takes too much time, you might just do this starting on upstroke every other day instead. That's also fine. Just tailor it on how much time you have available. But the significant thing about this is that this pattern, you know, that's pretty easy. But this one, where you get 2 and 1, the first run through we play down, up, down. But then the second time we'll start with an upstroke, up, down, up, then down, up, down, up, down, up. So you'll get to practice all these different permutations are sort of built in this exercise. And with the accents part and playing 3 groups of 3 notes in 16th notes, all this stuff just helps your technique immensely, because you're really working on the timing as well, and timing and techniques they're like this. So and the same thing with this one here, that you have down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So compare that to something like this exercise, where you have a chance to get used to whenever you start the exercise and do the repetitions, you change the string on the same stroke each time. Here you change every 3 notes, so that's harder, and that's why it's good. So I've written out just the first 3 and 2 plus 1 and 1 plus 2 here in the PDF, and I think you can figure out the rest. It's much easier if you just learn the system. So just think 3, 2 plus 1, 1 plus 2, and going down it's the same thing, 3, 2 plus 1, 1 plus 2. So it's not that hard to understand. And like I said, if you want to do the whole thing, do every position from down here to however many frets you have, and starting with a downstroke. And I would go up and down in the same position. So I would go up here and restart it, and then go up again. So I wouldn't go up here and down that like that. I would do one position at a time, just to cover everything. And then, like I said, going back, you start everything on an upstroke instead. And that will take some time, but it's a really good workout for the picking hand, especially if you keep it slow and really focus on getting a good tone from each. So even though you're doing accents here, you don't want to really dig in too much. Focus on whatever you consider a good tone, and also feeling relaxed. You don't ever want to feel fatigued when doing this. Then if you do that, you need to take a break, and you need to know that the only reason you get fatigued is because you're using too much energy to play this. So really focus on being aware of how you're sitting and pushing the shoulder ahead, or you're using too much force to play stuff. So because all that stuff, you're programming your technique here, so everything you do is important. So don't do this in front of the TV. Focus on what you're doing instead. Okay, so good luck with that, and if you have any problems at all or confused about anything, just send me an email and I'll try to help you out. Okay.